Jai Hind to all. My name is Dhanshri Parihar, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Ajay Kumar Garg, Engineering College. And my today's topic is Object-Oriented Features in Java from subject Object-Oriented Programming with Java. So today's contents include Object-Oriented Programming Introduction, the concepts of classes and objects, how to create an object, how to create a constructor and the concept of constructor, the object-oriented features, polymorphism, inheritance, encapsulation, and data abstraction. Now, what is object-oriented programming? As we all know, Java is one of the object-oriented programming language, and C++ is also a object-oriented programming language, as it supports various object-oriented features. Now, in object-oriented programming, we will all need to learn the basic concepts before writing a code, and that basic concepts includes the concept of an object, how to create a class, inheritance, interface, packages, and all the things focuses on the creation of real-world entities and how to invoke those entities. Now, first of all, before starting, we must know what a class is. In Java, class is a container of objects as well as your variables and the various functions which will be including the computation. Now, how we can create a class in a Java programming language? In order to create a class, we will first write a keyword class, then the class name. Now, the class name is a user-defined name. So, first of all, we have to write the class keyword, then the name of the class, and then we use the curly braces to start the body of the class. Then, we will write a statement named as public static void main. And we are passing the parameters to the main method of type string, having a variable arguments. Now, what does public means? Public means that the main method is publicly accessible. And what is a static? Static means the main method do not need any object to invoke it. It can be run directly. Void is the return type of this particular main method. Now, before declaration of the main method, we will start the body of the main method. That includes a printing statement or maybe the initialization, declaration or definition of a method as well as of a variable. So here we will writing in output statement system.out.println and we are printing welcome to Java. Now, when we will execute this program, how we can execute this program? Before executing, we have to save this file with the name of the class to which the main method belongs. As the main method belongs to class demo, so how we can save this file? We will save it like demo.java. So this is our source code file. And then when we compile it, how we can compile it on our C prompt? For compiling it on a C prompt, we have to give a command javac, that is Java compiler, demo.java, with which we have saved our file. And the name of the file will be same as the name of the class of a main method. This is the first step. We will do the compilation. In a second step, we will execute this file. After a successful compilation, when we press enter, the compilation mode will be on and the file will go through the detection of errors in that particular file. If there is any error, then the second step is not possible. And we do not object any .class file. Now, after demo.java, automatically one file is created in that same folder named as demo.class. And that can be executed in the form of the command java, and then we will write the name of the file demo. And after that, we will get our output. So in this case, the output is welcome to Java. So this is a simple program to run a class in a Java programming language using our JDK platform. If you want to run it on VS Code, so we have to first install that packages that include Java debugger and all, and then under that JDK folder or JRE folder, we can save our these file Java files with the same extension .java, and then we can directly run and see our output at the terminal. Same on the BlueJ we can use, Eclipse we can use. There are different platforms where we can run a Java program, or as well as on the online compiler also. Now next is, after class, what is object? Now object is a real world entity that represent the physical instance of a class. We can say object is an entity which can invoke a class. By using the concept of object, we can access a method or a variable which belong to a particular class. Now how we can do that? How we can create a object? For creating an object, let us consider one example. We are having an operator named as new operator, and one more thing, that is default constructor, that will help in giving a memory space to our object in order to create our object. So in order to create an object, we will write one line in our code that is known as how we can create that object. First is the class name. That line of code must be included in your main method class name, then object name equals to new operator, and then class name. For creating object in Java programming language. First of all, we will write the name of the class for which we have to create an object to access that particular class. Then we will write an object name. The object name is a user defined name. It can be anything. It may be A1, B1, XYZ, ABC, A2, B2, and equals to the new operator, and then again the class. Now here, this particular portion is known as the default constructor that we will be discussing further. Now here we can see that we have a special operator known as a new operator. What is the role of this new operator? It will automatically assign the memory to our object. So here in Java, the garbage collection is in an automatic mode. Here there is no need of creating any destructor to release the memory from the objects or from the variables or from your methods. The memory is automatically allocated with the help of this new and the default constructor, and that can be deallocated automatically by the program itself. Now let us see with the help of programming example how this particular new operator is working on for creating an object, and how we can invoke the variable and methods of a dummy class or a class which is not having any main method. So let us start with the program. In this program, we have created a class student. Here we are having a class student. Which will be acting as a dummy class. And then next, in this particular class, we are declaring one variable name as id, which is of type integer, and then we are again declaring one another variable which is of type string that will be named as name. Now after this, we are creating a main method, public static void main string r. In a main method, now we are creating an object. How we can create an object? First of all, we will write the name of the class for which we have to create an object. Suppose we have to create this for student class in this particular case. So we are writing student, and then the name of the object is S1. The name of the object is S1, class name, object name equals to new, and then we have another, again the class name. Here we are creating an object named as S1. Now if we want to invoke this id variable and name variable, and we want to access them, how we can access them? By invoking them using this object S1. So here I have written one output statement where I am calling this variable with the name of object. So how we can call object name dot your variable name. So we are using a dot operator over here. So any number of object variables you can invoke through your object. So first of all, we are invoking s1.id. So it will be called this, and the control will return to this int id. And for s1.name, the control will be returned to this. Here in this program, I haven't declared any value to this. We can also write it as int d equals to 40 and string name is equals to h. So what will be printed in output? In a first statement, the first statement will print 40 and the second statement will print h. Since I have not I haven't defined these two variables with any value. So when a call will be occur through an object and an object will be invoking them, the output will be 0 and null. 0 for that integer value and null for that string value. So this is the way how we can create an object by using the concept of classes to invoke a variable or a method. This example is for invoking the variables only. Now next is example. As we have created the object for the same class to which a main method is belonging. But we can create an object for any other class also where the main method is not written. In this example, we are showing that main method is outside the class, and for that class we are creating the object. But one thing is always be considered that the object will always be created in a main method class, not in any dummy class. For example, here we are creating again the student class, and this class is starting over here and ended over here, and it do not include any main method in it. It only considering the declaration of two variable id and name of type integer and string. Now we are creating another class which will be named as test student. Here we are using the main method public static void main, and then in the main method we are creating an object s1 as we have done in the previous example. Now this s1 object is making a call to id method and the name method of class student. So here we are having two classes. One is class student and another is class test student. So this is your kind of a dummy class. Now why we are calling it as a dummy class? As it is not functional right now. Why it is not functional? Because it is not having the main method. As we all know that in the programming languages, the execution always starts from your main method. Whenever you hit a cursor, it will run your program, compile your program, it will always search for your main method in the program. So in a class student, we are not having our main method. So first of all, the test student class will be invoked and this class will be started. When this class will be started, what will happen? It will be looking for an object s1 which will be invoking the id variable of class student. So the control will return to the dummy class. From here, the control will be go to a class student, and this test student class will access a class student with the help of object s1. Now, so in this example, there is a question that if we are having two classes, one is a dummy class and one is a main method class, so with which name we have to save our program? So it is very easy. As we all know that the class to which main method will belong, the name of the program will be saved with that class only. Here, the container of main method is test student. So how we can save this program? We will save this program with the name of test student. This S must be capital as it is written over here. Student1.java. So we do not save the file with the name of student, as that student class do not consist of main method. So this is the example of how a main method in another class can create an object a class containing a main object method is creating an object, and that object is accessing its own class which is outside your main method. Now next, how we can initialize an object. We can initialize by a reference variable. The previous two example we have done, that is by reference variable, where we are using the object name dot the variable name to invoking that particular variable. So we are creating a reference to that variable. That belongs to the first point. Second, we can also create a reference to a method, as well as we also use the concept of object with the help of constructor. So we will continue with this, how we can invoke a method or how we can create a reference to a method using the concept of objects. So by using the method, in this example, we are creating a class student again, holding a variable roll number and name. Only the declaration of these two particular variables. One will be of type integer, another will be of type string. Then we are having one another thing which is known as method. Now, how to declare a method in a Java programming language? It's having a syntax, data type, syntax of function in Java. Data type, then function name, then bracket start, parameter list. And then the body of the method, what you have to compute in that particular method. So by this particular syntax here, by using this syntax, we are creating a one method in this class student, that is a return type void, that is the data type of this method. The method name is insert record and having a parameter int r and string n of type integer and of type string. And here in the body of this method, we are passing the value of this variable r to roll number variable, and the variable and the variable of type string, the value is passed to this name variable of type string. Now next, another method is also used. So we are using two methods in this program. First is insert record and second one is display information. This one. Now display information method is a non-parameterized method. This is one is the parameterized, this is non-parameterized. And in this particular method, we are printing a roll number and a name of a student by using the output statement system.out.println. Now we are closing here your class. Now after closing this class student, we are creating another class test student 4, which is a main method class. In this class, we are creating two objects, student S1 and S2. Student is the name of the class, then object name, which is the user defined equals to new, the class name, first one. So we are creating the object 1. This is your object 1. And in next line, we are creating object 2. And by using this object 1 and object 2, now we will invoke our two methods, the display information and insert record. Now in first call, in this one, s1.insert record will be called and a value 111 and current will be passed to this insert record. So how we can call a method? With the same idea as we are using in variable, object name dot the variable name, same with the method, object name dot your method name, and we are passing the parameter 111 and current. When this call is activated, the control will go to this particular line and the value 111 and current is assigned over here, 111 to r and current to n. So r will be holding 111 and n will be holding the value current of type string. So here name will be holding then current and roll number will be holding then 111 for the first call, this one. And after this call is done, then this particular call is done, when this call is again for display information method is taken place, s1.display method, this particular information, the roll number and name will be printed. Here, the name 111 is the roll number and Karan will be printed for the first call. Then 222RN, when the second call is done by the object, s2.insert record means invoking this particular method, then the control again go to this method and the new values will be updated. For 111 it will become 222, and for the name and Karan it will be replaced by then RN. And when s2.display, because s2 is holding that particular call, s2 is holding a call for this insert record 222RN, and s1 is invoking 111 Karan, the insert record method with these values. So they will be having two different references for a same method, one with the s1 object and one with the s2 object. So we have two different values for two objects, and when display information will be called two times, so one by the s1 and one by the s2 object, two different values will be printed in the output, 111 Karan and 222 RN. So this is the way how the method can also be used to creating a reference for an object. Now next is the concept of constructor, the third thing which can be used for creating an object. Now what is a constructor? Constructor is a block of codes which is similar to a method. It is similar to a method, but it has certain difference from the method. The first difference is it can be used to create the instances, and we always have a default constructor in a Java programming language, which will be automatically allocating the memory to the objects, the variables which will be invoked by that particular object. So there at least one constructor always exists in a Java program. There are certain rules of creating this constructor. The first rule is the constructor name must be same as that of the name of the class. So whatever class we are taking, like we are creating a student class, the name of the constructor will be always a student. It should not be user defined. Yes, it is a user defined on the basis of that class name, but it should be same as that of the name of the class. The second, it do not have any explicit return type, means it do not have any data type in front of it. So next is the rules for creating Java constructor. So there are certain rules. The first rule is the name of the constructor must be same as that of the name of the class. The second rule is the constructor should not have any explicit return type. It means we do not use any data type in front of the name of the constructor when we are declaring a constructor. The third rule is a Java constructor cannot be abstract. It cannot be static, final or synchronized. It means we do not write any special kind of keyword in front of constructor. That is abstract. It cannot be abstract class, static keyword and a final keyword in front of a constructor. Now fourth is we can use access modifiers in front of a name of a constructor like public, private, protected and default. So these are the four access specifier which are in Java programming languages and we can use in front of this constructor. So what is a constructor? As we all know and the rules, and we are having two types of constructor. One is default and one is parameterized constructor. Thank you and Jai Hind to all.